What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today we have another contact gunshot experiment for you all with, of course, a ballistic dummy lab head. Now, we've done these videos with some pretty big calibers over the years. We just did the Desert Eagle 50 probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you haven't seen the video, definitely go watch it. Obviously, the results were absolutely insane. They're always pretty epic, but after that video, I got a few message requests on Instagram from people asking me to do these tests with smaller calibers. So I thought we would just go back to the very beginning, start small and work our way up. You can let me know down in the comments what calibers you would like to see. But today, we are gonna start this series with the .22 long rifle, one of the most popular and abundant calibers in the world. The .22 is used for pretty much everything from hunting small game, prepping, and even self-defense. Although I would not recommend the .22 as your first choice for self-defense. It's definitely a lethal little round. So we all know the .22 long rifle is not extremely powerful. It's kind of considered to be like the smallest acceptable caliber for a lot of applications. That being said, it's powerful enough, and I would definitely not want to be shot with one. So it might not do a ton of damage at long distance, but how effective is a .22 long rifle at point blank range? Today we're gonna find out. Okay, so I'm sure most of you have seen my other videos on this topic. If you haven't, a contact blast is basically when the muzzle of the firearm is pressed into the target, which is obviously gonna give you a very different result than if there was a separation between the two, because the pressure is more of a contributing factor. Even a small gap, like 4 or 5 inches, can make a pretty big difference compared to a contact shot, because obviously those gases have room to escape. Now, the .22 long rifle is an interesting caliber for a test like this, because with other calibers we've tried, like shotguns, Desert Eagle 50s and stuff like that, they are so devastating at any distance that it's kind of hard to tell the difference between a regular shot and a contact blast. They both just obliterate the target. So I think with smaller calibers like this, we might see a much bigger difference. This was also the preferred choice of mafia hitmen and assassins all over the world for point blank execution style hits. So I'm excited to see how it does. The pistol we're using is the Ruger Mark IV Lite. No ports, no comps. Most of that blast should just come right out the end of the barrel. So I got a magazine full of CCI mini mags here. We're gonna take a few shots and just see what kind of gas pressure comes out of this thing. We're honestly kind of close to steel targets for a .22. Hopefully nothing comes back at us, but let's see how it looks. A little bit of a blast, definitely not much. .22s are extremely fun, and this gun always runs really well. So those are CCI mini mags. Again, they're a little bit hotter than regular .22s, but honestly quite a bit of smoke and looked like a good bit of gas pressure coming out the end of the barrel. So will it be enough to make a difference on a target at point blank range? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. Now I got a few hollow points in the magazine. We'll see how these compare to the CCI mini mags. That was pretty cool. You see those green and yellow things taped to the steel targets? Those are called pop packs. They're like a liquid gel substance. Let's see what they do. Well, I'm putting bullet holes straight through it. Try the green one. That wasn't bad. Huh. Little anticlimactic. Okay, I think I was hitting the first one a little bit high. I was watching those bullets go straight through the yellow part of the target and nothing was happening. And then I aimed towards the bottom and it exploded perfectly. So when you hit them right, they're actually a pretty cool little target. Either way, the .22 hollow point is definitely more powerful than the mini mag. So maybe we'll use that one for our contact shot. I honestly haven't decided yet. Let's see if we can hit a coconut and look at the damage. This is probably similar to a human skull or a bone, so I want to see how the .22 affects it. All right, we have an entrance hole right there, and I do not see an exit hole. So I think that hollow point might have stopped inside the coconut. Okay, so I just spent 5 minutes cutting this coconut open. I probably should not have shot it flying through the air like that because the bullet could have just tumbled out, but look at what's on the inside of that coconut. It almost made it all the way through, but it stopped just short. I'm gonna try and dig this out. And that is our fully intact .22 hollow point that was stuck right on the inside of that coconut. So it did not go through, but man, it got close. It stopped just short of passing through the other side of the shell. So interesting. Let's try the real test. Hey guys, before we go any further, I have got to give a shout out to DNT Optics. They are a big supporter of this channel. We've used their products many times, such as the HS225 here. Got quite a few videos on this one, and they just recently sent the even cooler, in my opinion, brand new Thermite. I'm currently in the process of testing this one now, so keep an eye out for that. But they've got a crazy amount of options and settings that allow you to see in every lighting condition. It is multispectral, so it has daytime, nighttime, and heat detection all in one package. They have picture-in-picture, so you can have multiple modes on screen at the same time and toggle between the two, a built-in IR illuminator, and the most expensive laser rangefinder and ballistic calculator with over 8,000 bullet data to choose from. They've also got one of my favorite features, which is the recoil activated recording. It basically knows when you take a shot and then records the 6 seconds prior. So you never miss anything while you're recording, and all of this comes in at under $9.99. You're going to be hard pressed to find a better deal on an optic like this. So if you want to learn more, you can check out their YouTube channel. I will put a link for that down in the description box below. And again, thank you to DNT Optics for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get to our test. So this is how I've got it set up. We have the ballistic dummy head screwed into the table, and I am going to shoot it from the front. I debated on the sides, but I think this is probably the best way to do it. It'll give us the most distance to travel before we get an exit hole out the back. Got a GoPro on the table. I'm going to have a couple other cameras as well, and we are going to be using our scientific safety goggles. No lab coat today, but I think the goggles are probably a good idea, just in case it gets a little messy. Now, the ammo choice was another thing I've been going back and forth on. A ball round would be cool because one of the appealing factors of the 22 is the unpredictability and the pinball effect, as they call it. We've already debunked that once before. 22s don't typically bounce around like people say they do, but they are very unpredictable. However, with a test like this, I feel like I have to go with the most powerful round that we have. So for this one, we are going to use a hollow point. This is the CCI 22 Stinger. It's definitely the hottest 22 that I have. It's also the one that's given us the most powerful muzzle blast every time we've shot it. So ball round would be cool, but I've got to go with the hottest round I got. I just feel like I wouldn't be completing the test if I didn't. So we know it's a good one. How effective is it at point blank range? Let's find out. All right, we've got our safety goggles on, CCI Stinger in the magazine, and I'm gonna put you guys right behind the shot, basically my point of view, and hopefully this bullet doesn't bounce back. 22 long rifle point blank range, here we go. 3, 2, 1. That is not what I expected. It left almost no mess. Even on my hand, I didn't really get anything. That was extremely clean and non-violent, I gotta say. If we go around to the back, no exit hole, of course, which is one of the good things about the 22, but you can see it definitely did make it deep enough to get to the fluid, because now it's starting to trickle down the front of his face. That's an assassin's bullet, man. Okay, well, that is, it's not as dramatic as I thought it would be, but it's 10 times cooler. Another thing I did not expect is it muffled the sound so dramatically, it sounded like it was suppressed. Literally no louder than a pellet gun. And that CCI Stinger is a pretty loud 22. Obviously, having the muzzle pressed into our ballistic dummy head just eliminated the entire sound, and there is no mess and no evidence whatsoever. So I'll give you one more look at it. Obviously there is a little bit of fluid running down the front, but I'm completely clean. There was no splatter, no splash, really not even any bone fragments. I think one piece of ballistics gel flew off the side of the head. Other than that, he's basically intact. There are some cracks on the left ear, kind of running from the top of the head down behind the ear. There's a pretty big crack in the back. And then the same thing on this ear. A little bit of a cracked skull. But aside from that, all of the damage is right there in the front, and I'm assuming there's a lot more damage inside our Ballistic Dummy Head. So there you have it. 22 contact blast with the CCI Stinger is freaking epic. No exit hole, no collateral damage, just did exactly what it needed to do. I think we can try one more round. This head is still completely intact, and most of the fluid is probably still in there as well. So let's try a ball round. Okay, I went ahead and rotated the head just a little bit to give us a fresh surface, still front to back, just at a slight angle, and I want to shoot it one more time. And for this one, we are going to use the CCI Mini Mag. This is a very popular ball round for the 22. It is a copper-plated bullet, so should give us a little bit better penetration. And I want to see how a 22 ball round compares to the hollow point that we just shot at point blank range, and which one would be the ultimate assassin's bullet. That CCI Stinger is going to be pretty hard to beat. CCI Mini Mag, here we go. I realize the head is already slightly compromised, but let's see what it does. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that is our entrance hole from the CCI Mini Mag right there. I did get a little bit of a mess on our barrel from that one. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. So a little bit of blue fluid on the muzzle of our 22 pistol. Entrance holes look very similar, basically identical. A little bit more fluid coming out the front. That crack on the side of the head did get bigger. Oh yeah, on the back it's way bigger. So we probably just added to the damage that was already there. And right there on the back left side of this head is a clean exit hole where that CCI Mini Mag went straight through our Ballistic Dummy Head. So I guess it just depends what you're looking for. The CCI Mini Mag did blow all the way through. The Stinger did not. One other thing I noticed is it was also much louder than the CCI Stinger. With that first one, it just completely eliminated that entire gunshot sound. CCI Mini Mag did not. It sounded a lot more like a 22, and that's probably because there was an exit hole and it allowed, you know, some of that pressure to escape. Whereas with the first one, it just eliminated all of it. So, of course, with these tests, it always comes down to personal preference. If you want my opinion, I think the Stinger was a clear winner by a very large margin. The CCI just pinholed straight through and out the other side. The Stinger expanded, stopped in the ballistic dummy, did not overpenetrate, and I would imagine it probably did more damage on the inside as well. So if you're looking for something sneaky or the ultimate assassin's bullet, I think that CCI Stinger is gonna be pretty hard to beat. That was extremely cool. All right, let's go ahead and finish him off. I have a mixture of ball rounds and hollow points in this magazine. We're gonna see how much damage we can do with 10-22s 3 or 4 yards away. That made a mess. Well, none of the contact shots got anything on me. That's when I was expecting it. And then at 3 or 4 yards away, I got absolutely covered. That was a messy 10-round magazine. All right, guys, I really hope that y'all enjoyed our 22 long rifle contact shot. Obviously, it's not as dramatic as some other calibers that we've tested, but I've got to say, this might be one of the coolest contact gunshot experiments we've ever done. It really just reinforced that the 22 excels at stealth. No noise, no collateral damage, no exit hole, no DNA on the suspect. Really not even any DNA on the scene. I mean, it leaked a little bit out the front, but most of that damage just stayed contained inside our Ballistic Dummy Head. So obviously we joke around about assassin's bullets and mafia hits and stuff like that. Of course, this is all just for fun and entertainment purposes, but it did show us that the 22 does have a place when it comes to stealth capability. And now I see why it was such a popular caliber with organized crime and stuff like that. It was a unique result, I'll just put it that way. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what other calibers you would like to see in this series. I'm willing to do them all. I have a feeling we'll probably eventually get there. I could make these videos every day of the week and be perfectly happy. So, as always, guys, if you did like today's video, please hit the like button for me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.